Hey viewers, 2Fortis here, and in this video I want to talk about errors in the My Hero Academia collectible card game. Specifically, errors on cards. And I think that can happen for a multiple sort of reasons. I believe the biggest thing that you're looking at is probably a bunch of different departments trying to collaborate to create the best product possible. And in doing so, there also is probably going to be a little bit of a time crunch, so a deadline that each team might have to meet. So there's going to be the artists, you're going to have perhaps some linguistics writing team. Then you're going to have the marketing team and the play testers. And as the game potentially changes in terms of how the play testers find things, or marketing might want different artwork for certain things, then I'm sure there's going to be multiple iterations of every single card. And when they finally settle on that one that they want to go ahead and go to print with, then they have to remember which one they settled on and send the correct files. And so in this card game, there's, for the base set so far, there are 180 cards, plus the 2 secret rares. And in addition to that, then each card is printed again with a foil, the extra rares. And then, so that's 2 182 cards. So that's 364 basically different cards in the first set. Plus you have the box topper, the 5 quirk packs, or 5 quirk cards. And then you have the DLC, Deck Loadable Content, which just released. That has 4 characters and an attack and a foundation for each character. So that's 3 times 4 is 12. Plus you have the 12 promos that I'm aware of. And then you have the victory packs, which has that little victory logo on there. And probably a few other cards I'm missing. I know that there's an All Might Gen Con and All Might 3. I'm not sure if he's part of the promo, but basically there's a lot of cards. So so far we've seen 6 errors, and I've actually found another one which I'm sure a lot of people have as well. But so far there are 7 errors that I can see. So I just wanted to talk about some of those errors. So the first error we have is on the card Back to Back. And Back to Back is an uncommon. And the error is actually on the extra rare, which I don't have. But apparently the text box here is different on the extra rare. It's not this text box, which is what it's supposed to be. So that's a pretty minor graphic design error that tells me that they're working on how probably and where to place some of these things, and maybe colors and how this all works. So that could have been one previous iteration of the text box there. Then we also have the error on rigorous training. So rigorous training comes from the starter edition Bakugo vs. Midoriya pack, and the error is actually again on the extra rare card. For this starter edition card, it says on the text here, response after you build this card, gain 2 health. So I don't have the extra rare for rigorous training as well, but the text is worded a little bit different. So the text says that when the card enters the stage instead of after you build. So basically the same thing, build or enter the stage. But that gets me again thinking about playtesting, wording, and different teams coming together to collaborate on this, and they settled on build for that. So instead of enter the stage. So the error again is on the extra rare version. Then we've got Engine Rush. So these next few cards here are actually probably a little bit more important to the game. Engine Rush is a rare, and the error again comes on the extra rare version of Engine Rush. But it also comes in the enhance abilities. So Engine Rush has 2 enhance abilities, and again, I don't have that extra rare, but apparently the extra rare is missing the second enhance and this enhanced step box. So again, they were probably play testing and trying to make the cards as balanced as possible. And in one version, they just didn't have that second enhance. So if you're playing with some of these next few cards here, I'm not sure what the ruling is. I can probably tell you, guessing what the ruling is going to be, but if you're in a major tournament or something like that and your card doesn't have that enhance, or you're playing against an opponent that is playing the extra rare card and they just use that enhance and the step even though it's not on that card, that could get confusing. So I'm wondering how they're going to rule that. But that is Engine Rush. The next card we have is Creepy Realizations. This is a common for Mineta, and the error here, I don't have the extra rare again, but the error here, I'm told, is in the block modifier. So here, the correct block modifier should be a 3 mid block for the block modifier. And I'm guessing that in the extra rare, which is where the error is on, it is a 2 mid block. So again, this could potentially be game changing, and it would be interesting to see how they are going to rule some of these cards. The next card we have is Clever Distraction. And in Clever Distraction, this is a Tokoyami card, just like back to back. So that's interesting that there are 2 errors on Tokoyami cards. But it seems like they're trying to balance Tokoyami last, and it was very difficult for them. So here the block modifier is a 3 mid block on the common Clever Distraction. And I actually do have the extra rare version of Clever Distraction. So as you can see on the extra rare version, which is the same card, the block modifier is a 2 mid block instead of a 3 mid block. So potentially maybe you want to just get those extra rares for Clever Distraction and play those instead of the common version, though I'm guessing I'm going to only think of how they're going to rule these cards specifically. We have 2 more cards here, and the next card I'm going to talk about is one that I've actually just noticed, and this is All Might 2 from the DLC Deck Loadable Content, Pack 1. And here it says for your attack, there is a spelling error. So on the first enhance, discard the top 4 cards of your deck, here it says attach, A-T-T-A-C-H, instead of A-T-T-A-C-K, which is how attack is supposed to be spelled. So spelling errors, honestly, should not, in my opinion, they shouldn't happen. And especially for the DLC, I think this is telling me something about their checking of the final prints, because spelling specific errors, I think, shouldn't happen on the card. The final error we have is going to be on the card Giant Ice Wall. So Giant Ice Wall is a Todoroki card, and Giant Ice Wall is a rare. And this is probably the biggest error card noticeable that you can physically see, because the error is the background art. So we have the background art on Giant Ice Wall, which is the rare. And here I have the ultra rare Ice Storm. So in Ice Storm ultra rare, you can't really see that, but oh yeah, Ice Storm ultra rare. This is the foil artwork, but it's the same artwork as Giant Ice Wall. So this artwork is wrong on the Giant Ice Wall. Ice Storm has the correct artwork, but Giant Ice Wall has the incorrect artwork. And that's actually interesting because this one is foiled and this one is not foiled. So again, I'm not into that printing or that type of model, how you decide what cards are going to be foiled or not, but the foiled is a non-foiled version in Giant Ice Wall for Ice Storm, but it's just actually just the regular non-foil Ice Storm background, when in fact I do have this card here, Giant Ice Wall extra rare. This is the correct artwork that should be on Giant Ice Wall, and as you can see, Giant Ice Wall here on the extra rare with the correct artwork, he's kind of moving his hand, and you can see some streaming ice coming off of his hand. And in Giant Ice Wall, he's just standing there facing with his hand in the back, and there's no ice coming off. So the correct artwork is on Giant Ice Wall, and the incorrect artwork is on the rare Giant Ice Wall. I'm sorry, the correct artwork is on the extra rare Giant Ice Wall, and the incorrect artwork is on the rare Giant Ice Wall. So those are the errors I know of so far, and I just wanted to talk about some of these errors. And like I said, I realized that there's a lot of teams involved, but on some of these things I don't feel like should happen. So like I said, spelling errors, there's no way a spelling error should get printed. This to me is you're not paying attention. Somebody is not paying attention. So on I want to say this is a great game. This is an awesome game, really amazing game. But it's interesting to see some of these errors, as you can see the thought process of making cards stronger or weaker, or where playtesters might think that certain cards should fall into certain categories. And I'm interested to see how they're going to rule on those cards. But the other interesting thing from a collector standpoint is that I believe the most expensive card, from what I know, is a first edition. So these are all first edition My Hero cards. So for a first edition Pokemon Charizard, there is on one of the cards a shadow something about shadowless Charizard. I'm not really sure about that, but it's a first edition and the artwork is incorrect on the first edition, and that is the one that is the most expensive card I believe that's sold, or that I know about. And that's interesting because we have Giant Ice Storm, which is the rare, which has the incorrect, or that's the wrong one. Giant Ice Wall. Giant Ice Wall is the rare, and it has the incorrect artwork, whereas the extra rare foil version, Giant Ice Wall, has the correct artwork. So from a collector standpoint, it'd be interesting to see how these cards might change in value. And I think that depends on how well the game does. So only time will tell. It seems like Jasco is doing a really good job at marketing, and they really care about the community, and they're trying to make this game the best game you can possibly make it. And I appreciate all their work. I'm really happy, but I hope that they maybe do a little bit more checking on some of these errors, because I believe a lot of these errors can be avoided. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about card errors. Are you collecting some of these card error cards, or are you just going to play with them? Thanks for watching. Bye.